our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
Love and protect one another.
I want to thank you all for joining me. Today we're going to be diving into the story of self. Now, I first took this training back in 2009 through the Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition and Reform Immigration for America. It was part of a bigger training called the Movement Building Training, and it really helped me ground myself in social justice, and it really showed me that I could be a leader and an organizer in this movement. I want to give credit to Marshall Gans, who created the Movement Building Training and created the idea of the story of self, us, and now, the public narrative. He has worked with a number of people in the movement to create social justice and change in our community. I know that he worked with President Obama in his earlier years when he was running for president, and also with some of our most important figures in the movement like Cesar Chavez. So this comes with a deep experience in the movement, and I was honored to take the training. I came with Padres y Jóvenes Unidos to take this training, and just cherished this experience. I was in a room in Fort Collins in a hotel with over 100 immigrant youth, most of them undocumented, and this was the first time that I told my story as an undocumented person. I didn't share my story as an undocumented person for quite a while, but it did help me understand that I could be a leader in the community. So let's dive right in. This is the story of self, and it's one part of a 3-part series for what's called the public narrative. So the story of self is really meant to engage your audience, to engage people and connect with them on a personal level. The story of self introduces you, who you are, where you're coming from, but it also talks about why you're here, why you care, and why you made the choice to lead. So first I want to start off that this is an agitational form of telling your story. Now, what I mean by that is that it triggers people into connecting with you. You trigger people with experiences and values that you can connect with people on a one-on-one basis. Now, this can be used on one-on-ones, or you can use it to tell, as a speech in front of a number of people. And this is your first part. So I'm going to start by talking about the 3 parts of the story of self, which are the obstacle, the choice, and the outcome. Now, you really want to talk about what your barrier was, right? And the story that I really like telling in my story of self, and what I feel helped, the moment that helped me really realize that I needed to do something, was back in 2009. I was sitting in the car with my mom, and we had just gotten done buying my cap and gown, and she also ordered my class ring, even though I thought we could not afford it. This is a huge moment for me. Is weeks before my graduation, we order my cap and gown, and my mom was so proud. My brother unfortunately had dropped out of high school, but I was going to be the first one to graduate from high school in my family. So this was a big deal for my mom, and she looked at me and she kept calling me her universitario, her college boy. Now, at one moment, I realized that she was very down. I felt this tension with her. She went from here to here, and I didn't know why. But then I realized that she felt defeated. Even though she called me her college boy, she realized that I wasn't going to be able to go to college because of my papers, because of my lack of papers, my lack of legal status. Now, I'd been applying for scholarships, for colleges, for 2 years, and I kept getting rejected. And I only had about $500 in my pocket from a private funder, and she knew that I was not going to be able to go to college. And for me, this was unacceptable. I was angry at the fact that she felt defeated by this, and more than anything, I was upset I was sad that something got in my mom's way, that this defeated her. And I was angry. So I turned to her and I told her whatever it took, she was going to see me graduate from college. That I was going to go to college and she was going to see that happen. Later, I found out that I had gotten a scholarship to the Community College of Denver, and it became a reality. And I like to share that story because I feel like it connects on many levels, whether it's family, whether it's school and education. That's what you want to do. And one thing that I always tell people is you want to be honest with your story. Now, be true to yourself. I'm not telling you to lie or to fake emotions, but when I tell this story, sometimes I get angry, sometimes I yell, sometimes I cry. And those are very real because this was a very important and life-changing experience for me. To see the woman who crossed a border, who crossed the desert to create a better opportunity for her children, was defeated by the fact that we were going to be charged out-of-state tuition for college. Now, I go on later to talk about how we helped find a solution for that, but this was the moment, right, that you want to talk about why you stepped in, why you said, the buck stops here. Something needs to change. I made the choice to say enough, and I actually did something about it. So that's what you want to do with your audience. You want to connect with them on a one-on-one and really ask them to feel how you feel, right? Ask them to join you, in that moment and connect with you. Now, good storytelling can turn stagnation into movement, right? It can turn hopelessness into hope. It can turn anger into action, right? So you really want to use this story to motivate people. So a story of self should take about 2 to 3 minutes, and you really want to focus on yourself. Don't focus on other people. This is about you and why you're here, why you came to the movement. I really want to talk about that moment, that spider bite moment that caused you to lead. Now, the spider bite moment is reference to Spider-Man. Peter Parker became Spider-Man after he was bitten by a radioactive spider. And after that, he enveloped these powers that he later had responsibilities to help people, right? So in the same way, this spider bite changes you forever. This is the moment in which you say, I'm different now. I'm not going to stand back while something happens. And that's the story you want to tell. So I hope that this was helpful to you. It's the first part of a 3-part series on the public narrative. So in the description below, I'll put a diagram that you all can use. This is a diagram that comes from the movement building training, and you all can use it to create your own story. I would love to hear from some of you. If you have a story of self, if you want to share it, if you want to make a video and put it in the comments section, I would love to work with you on developing a good story of self. So this is the first part of a 3-part. I hope you click onto the next video and we're going to dive into the story of us.